This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show. Joe's not here.
Joe's not here.
3, 2, 1, Joe's not here.
3, 2, 1, Joe's not here.
3, 2, 1, Joe's not here. There you go. We tried to call Joe so many times. We were like, hey, we postponed a whole week for you, you jackass. And he was like, I'm a jackass. My name's Joe. I'm not here right now.
Man, I just couldn't believe that he said that.
I know. You said it verbatim like that. And I was like, that's so weird because it's not now when we're talking. Now's later on the podcast.
Right?
I've been doing so much work for the timeline video I'm working on. My brain's just working in timelines right now, you know. So it's all I can. As I'm thinking about clocks and time,
Like the clock.
like
king?
the Clock King segue.
I knew you were going there.
I wasn't actually till you breathed in to say Clock King, and I thought, oh shit, Clock King, and then I just, hi.
Hi.
Joe's not here. We said that. Welcome back to Jump on the Bat-Wagon. We wanted
Joe's
Joe to
not
be
here.
here, but he can't be. Okay?
Look, listener, this has been a week.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, and it's going to continue to be a week. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can, because I'm thinking about time all the time. I know how time works.
You know what?
Weeks.
It's good to,
Yeah.
like Kimmy's really good for saying like, don't wish your time away kind of a thing. Like, you know, oh, you want to like be doing a thing. You got a vacation coming up and you really want to do it. Well, like just like still enjoy every day on the lead up to that. That being said,
Hard to do.
I'm currently working my last week at this job I've been working.
Woo!
Thank God. Moving on to bigger and better things. But
We've had many off-air conversation about how doo-doo the job is and why, and yeah, I'm very excited for you to not be working there and for you to be happier because of that.
Me too. More happy, less broke.
Hey, how's your guts, by the way? Gut update. We get a gut update on.
I have guts.
Oh, sick. Is the mesh fully integrated into your system now? Your body kind of gobbled it up.
It should be. Like it should be like hanging out within the scar tissue, and that kind of sucks sometimes. There's still I get some pretty
You get a weird little pang
out of the blue stabby pains here, there, and everywhere. Some days are worse than others, but it is still better than it was before.
That's good. I just want to know everything in your life is going swell. You know, dogs are good. Dog Max, Rose, other ones.
I got a Rose right here. We got a Max over there. Kiva's hanging around here somewhere, waiting to set off a chorus.
The guitars are all in ship shape.
Right there, baby.
And your penis.
My what?
Oh yeah. Welcome back to Jump on the Bat-Wagon. I'm James from the Watchtower database. I'm here to show my good buddy Brian the entire DC animated universe from start to finish for the very first time in the controversial airdate order, so he may view these shows the way human beings experience them in the far gone days of the 1900s. We recommend
I'm
you,
Brian, not from the Watchtower database. I'm sorry.
Sorry, excuse me, I was talking. We recommend you watch today's DCAU episode before listening to this podcast to get the full experience out of our discussion. I can't make you do that, but I can make Brian what?
I would say maybe just like watch the DCAU and not listen to this podcast. That seems like a fine option as well.
No. You have to do both. It's required. It's law.
Oh my God.
If you watch any Watchtower database video ever from now on, you have to. It's required that you also listen to this. But if you're not already listening to this, you won't hear me say that, so you won't know. So then you're not allowed to watch Watchtower database videos anymore. Brian, you can watch the next video. I just finished the script this morning, and there's no spoilers that will matter for you. There's absolutely no spoilers.
I don't believe it. There's one spoiler.
There's Yes,
Here it is.
actually there is.
Yeah, yes.
There is
See,
one.
I know
there
you.
is one thing, but it's not you. It won't matter fucking at all. Just please, you can watch it. I promise.
Okay.
But speaking
Wow,
of,
that's exciting.
I know.
When does it air?
Soon. I don't want to put a specific date on it. It'll be this month.
Date.
It'll be July. Okay.
Okay.
That much has already been officially said, so I'm sticking with it.
Wait,
But-
this is coming out on June 30th, so it's going to be this month?
No. Asshole. We're watching Batman the Animated Series episode Showdown today. At the time, I forgot to say that at the time of this recording, Batman the Animated Series is streaming on Max, your dog, and available on DVD and Blu-ray. So your prediction for Showdown was, I told you it was Ra's al Ghul because Joe's going to be here, but Joe's not here. So it's not Ra's al Ghul anymore. He undid the episode. It's about something else now. Do you have a new prediction?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe my prediction was right after all.
It was Ra's al Ghul versus Batman. I said no. Versus Robin. I said no. And you're like, oh, interesting. And that's where we are now. That's all you know.
I'm so excited.
I can tell.
Can you see the excitement in my voice?
I see your voice. I hear your face. This is aired Monday, September 12th, 1995, 4 p.m. Fox Adults. We skipped one day, and I noticed when I made the spreadsheet forever ago for all these episodes, I had forgotten that this was a thing. But these final 5 episodes of the show in season whatever this is 4, all aired back to back in 1 week's time, and then the show was just done.
Okay. They're like, hey, you know the show? It's been going great. We're done with it.
Yeah.
Just get everything out right now.
There's 5 more episodes, sir. Fuck, just put them out back. And then we can finally get past this terrible show that's won Emmy Awards and is bringing all sorts of demographics to our channel. Please
Look,
leave me
can you
alone.
air all 5 episodes at the same time?
Yeah, just overlap
overlay them.
People will love it.
Reduce the opacity to 20%.
Yeah, they could just do that with their Betamax. Produced 78 between the final aired episode and Riddler's Reform, and aired 83. This is a story by Kevin Altieri, Paul Dini, and Bruce Timm, with teleplay by Joe R. Lansdale, who wrote the teleplay for Perchance to Dream and Read My Lips, the ventriloquist episode. Director Kevin Altieri, music by Todd Hayen, erroneously credited as Todd Haven in this episode.
Oh my God. We're going to hear about that.
He was probably
in Trivs.
so mad. No, that's all you're hearing. He's right there.
We're going to hear about that in comments next week.
We hear that right now, and nobody will ever. If you comment about Todd Haven, I won't ever read your comments again. Composer,
Oh my God.
he was the composer for Heart of Ice, Twiger, Dreams in Darkness, Joker's Wild, and Second Chance. And we have animation by Dong Yang again. Whee!
Oh, thank God.
Not whatever the fuck it was last time.
Other people.
Other people. Bad Animation Incorporated Studios.
That'd be a great name for an animation studio.
We should make it. And then you can't, no one can ever be mad if the animation's bad. It's like, look, you idiot, it's right there. It's in the name. What did you expect?
They should know.
I know. Let's go watch Showdown, baby.
Yeah, let's show up for Showdown.
Let's go down on... Nope. Nope.
Duval comes into town now and then, starts fights, bothers my girls, challenges men to duels.
I'm aware of his habits, Missy. What I ain't aware of is where he's holed up.
Strange thing, that. He ain't staying at the hotel, and the next town's 50 miles away.
Sounds like he likes to sleep on the ground with the rest of the snakes.
He ain't the type. More the clean sheet sort. And he first showed up in town about the time folks started seeing the sky monster.
The what?
No one knows what it is. And the sheriff's too yellow to investigate. It only comes out at night, like a big boat or a log in the sky. About the same time it showed, folks started seeing lights in the... Get down! Way I figure, that glow might some way tie in with the sky monster. And Duval.
Reckon so. I think you better start back now, Missy. Got a feeling things might get loud and busy soon.
Good luck, Jonah Hex.
Right nice sentiment, ma'am. but I never cotton much to luck. I like to make my own.
I'll remember that when I see you next.
Well, howdy, Brian. How's it going there, right there in them parts and the guitars behind you? This requires a guitar during both synopses.
I'm trying to like...
You can't do that and synyop at the same time. It was a might fine podcast here with Brian strumming along, Jonah Hex and Raz Al Ghul. We'll do the normal thing. You can do that while I tell you the official one, okay?
Yeah,
okay.
Great.
Synyop, synyop, if you're wondering.
Synyop, synyop.
What you just watched. Synyop, synyop.
Take a listen to the synopsis.
The short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
Ding.
Dang,
Or that should be like a
dang.
sound
Yeah.
effect.
A hydrogen bomb exploding. All right, Brian, tell me what happened in Showdown.
Okay. The beginning's a little bit blurry to me, to be honest.
Ra's al Ghul and Spider-Man's break into a place.
Well, yeah.
His army of
okay.
Spider-Mans.
Let's just say that Ra's al Ghul has a Ra's al Ghul has an army of like Spider-Man when Spider-Man is like wearing the Venom suit.
Exactly.
Basically.
Perfect.
Like it's Spider-Man Venom suit, but no like web detail on costume or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're breaking into a retirement home. I'm kind of confused. Is that where they were?
Yeah, they really needed like a bunch of ninja Spider-Men to break into the...
Yeah.
he couldn't just, hello, I'm here for my son. Oh, he came right this way. Oh, it was that easy.
Yeah, they're like drug. They're like gassing out the whole staff.
Who was already
It's
asleep.
It's it's midnight. It's midnight at an old folks' home. Like literally everybody there is asleep, and they're like,
They still have like
good,
a full
we've knocked them
staff.
out.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Batman's all like, "Hey, I'm here to stop you," and Ra's al Ghul's like, "Mixtape, bro," and Batman's like, "Oh, mixtape," and he puts it into his Bat cassette in the Batmobile.
The
like,
Bat
Batwing?
hole.
No, the Bat hole. And he's like, wait,
the
this
devil's
isn't
bat
music.
hole.
Batman's like, wait, this isn't a mixtape. This is a podcast.
Yeah, you said that when
And
he
he-
picked it. I was like, did you get my mixtape, detective? Did you? It had Barbie Girl.
And so, listener, it's really not a mixtape. It's an animated podcast.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a flashback episode to like old West timey days. And there's a bounty hunter and he's going after a dude with a bounty on his head.
I like how it said like it was the 1800s, and you're like, okay, like what the fuck?
We're just doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of like, as easy as the story is to like tell, I'm finding it difficult to like give you words for this. It's a good old West tale where there's a couple of mysteries going on. This dude, bounty hunter, he's like kind of like Two-Face.
I figured
Clay,
you might make the comparison.
He's Two-Face and Clayface.
Do you remember his name?
Going on? I don't.
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex.
Yeah, they say it maybe twice, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, with my memory, you're going to have to give me at least 18 of them.
Yeah. It was the 1800s and Jonah Hex was there. And let me tell you all about Jonah Hex. Remember.
Jonah Hex is... Oh, we should just do this in a Ra's al Ghul kind of like explanation. Like, Jonah Hex's horse broke down and Jonah Hex went walking to a bar.
And Jonah Hex sat at the table and Jonah Hex handed the barmaid 2 quarters and she handed them back to Jonah Hex.
And the barmaid was like, Jonah Hex, I don't need your money. I'll tell you where the man you seek is.
Robin's like, wow, Ra's al Ghul really doesn't know how to do a podcast. You don't have to,
Robin's
you don't have to
just
say
sitting
his
there,
name.
wow, Brian and James really don't know how to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And then
there was some Amy Winehouse. Did you like?
I'd like you just. I would love it if you could like somehow like AI
What would
the
Ray Sean
music.
Ghoul's mixtape be?
That.
He wants Batman to hear. He's giving it to him lovingly.
I just want you to. I know it's a little bit of a faux pas right now, but have you ever heard of Maroon 5?
I wasn't a big fan of their most recent album, but the mid-2000s stuff, not bad.
Their original album was a banger. Holy shit. We're off the rails here. So Jonah, the barmaid lady's like, Jonah Hex, let me tell you, there's some lights and there's a big flying log in the sky. And you should check it out behind these cliffs. And then Jonah Hill.
Why is the lady talking like Rachel Ghoul?
It's Rachel Ghoul giving.
I see. Okay.
It's somehow easier to sum up this way.
And so now, detective, in the story, you must imagine I am a sexy lady. Can you do that? Would it help if I put on a song for you?
I've got this Mary J. Blige, mid-90s. It'll blow your mind.
He knows exactly how long it'll take Batman to drive to wherever he's going.
I just want this episode to be rescored with Ra's al Ghul's mixtape. Like you have Jonah Hex like poking behind the rocks, and you hear that song "Creep" playing.
Yeah,
creep.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of.
Radiohead?
Yeah,
I guess that's even better. If I could only remember how to play it, I think
because he was totally like, "What the hell am I doing here?" He said.
Yeah. Anyway, how do I sign up? Where are we?
Yeah,
at?
you should tell me what happens in the episode.
Okay, I'm gonna like rip this one off like a Band-Aid. Cool.
Do it.
Okay, so like Ra's al Ghul is like he hired his son to make a hydrogen blimp tank in some cliffs.
I put tank on the mixtape.
It goes and then the rest will blow your mind.
Have you seen Trigun? Because this episode is kind of like
we're basically living in Trigun. Batman, you have to imagine Trigun.
Remember,
go watch it in the controversial airdate order and come back and listen.
Was that Sunrise? I don't know.
Okay.
This episode is so weird. It just has us in a very interesting mood, I guess.
It does. Okay. So young me's building a tank blimp in some cavey things, and I got these people who look kind of like 1940s science fiction dudes.
I've got both a bunch of Popeyes and a bunch of medieval knights.
Yeah. Plus one guy wearing a UPS delivery man outfit for some reason.
Yeah. He had the biggest package, I tell you what. Every time he walked in the room, I had to play Anaconda. You want to hear that? Here's the song. It goes like this.
Just fast forward on the tape a little bit. Okay, so I'm building a tank blimp to destroy the railroad because I've got some vendetta against it. And then the bounty hunter's there, and he
wants to be like the ultimate president or something. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, he wants to be like supreme ruler of the United States.
Yeah, I promise me you don't actually. Please, I don't think you want that. Yeah.
Let me tell you, that doesn't work out for everybody. Then what happens? Let's see. Jonah Hex then makes the blimp go boom, and he somehow saves my son, and now we're back in the future, and my son is really old, and I hate
you know that song "Here Comes the Boom." This is where I play that. Ready or not, detective, here's the song. Is this done being funny, listener? Did you stop finding this funny a while ago?
Probably for them. I'm having a riot. And then
a
Batman
quiet riot, you say?
No! And then the mixtape and the podcast is over, and Batman sees Ra's al Ghul, and he's like, "Hey, you did a fucking thing." And he's like, "Yes, my son is 100 years old. What if you just let me take my boy?" And Batman's like, "Check out my cape," and then he leaves.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
The end. They go away.
Wow, that Ra's al Ghul has quite eclectic musical taste, Batman. You want me to tell you what actually happened? It's much shorter.
Whoops.
While attempting to rescue one of his immortal followers from a hospital, Ra's al Ghul tells Batman and Robin a tale from his mysterious past. Along with Batman and Robin, we learn of Ra's attempts in the 1800s. It's really hard for you to just keep playing without listening to me. To destroy fledgling railroad and seize control of the U.S. government.
The thing that's throwing me off is that you don't know that this is a track from...
I know it, but I don't know.
Is it Three Amigos?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It sure is. The one person standing in his way is the renegade bounty hunter Jonah Hex. How Ra's battle with... Oh, what? How Ra's battle with Hex. I think there's an apostrophe S thing going on here. How Ra's battle with Hex is tied to his present-day battle with Batman is revealed in a surprise ending.
Is that it?
That's it.
Let's get to this for the rest of the
It's
podcast.
done. Okay. So we got cast. What'd you think of this boy?
I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
The art was like, seriously, I know it was like, yeah, like desert kind of time. Yeah, sure. Like I know I'm getting like a little bit of cross-pollination from Trigun, but like the art was super solid.
Yeah.
Super
there was
duper solid.
A couple specific moments that were a little weird, but there was a lot of really good stuff. There was
Ra's al Ghul's son's floating face leech.
Yeah, well, yeah. Is that the subtitle?
Probably.
I was trying to think of if there's a way to do like Potato Head Goes West or something like that. So we kept calling
the top of Jonah Hex's head looks like a slightly deformed potato.
Yeah, it's very lumpy.
It's pretty lump.
His skull's been caved in or something. I don't know what's going on. It was kind of a 90-degree rotation of Hugo Strange's head. Who had like
what his head looked like.
We called him saggy back brain.
Oh right. Yeah,
he had like a big saggy back brain. Jonah Hex just had like a potato mush. I also like, that lady kissing him right on the string, the mouth string.
Okay, how do we explain that one?
I think I just did.
Maybe just look at the thumbnail that Jamie included, but Shirley has a picture of this dude's face.
Yeah,
he's got kind of the Two-Face thing going on.
Brian, everyone knows what Jonah Hex looks like, and not everyone else is you. You know.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Kimmy doesn't know.
That's true.
So picture Two-Face, but he's got a thing of string that goes over like the
part of his face melted into the bottom part of his face over his mouth, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's like, I want to kiss you right on that.
Right on the string.
That. I want to kiss you on your like proboscis.
This is how I get whatever out of the flowers. What the fuck do butterflies eat?
Pollen?
No. Yes, probably. But what's the liquid?
Honey?
No. Yeah.
Nectar?
Yeah. Thank you. It's just how
I'm sorry. I've been up 12 hours
I
already.
maintain my youth. I'm getting too old to drink nectar all the time.
Ra's al Ghul has his Lazarus pit. Jonah Hex has nectar.
He just drinks flowers. Jonah Hex is cool. He's very like underutilized in the DCAU. We'll see him one more time. After
Really?
This. Yeah.
I liked him. I thought he was cool.
He's a very obscure DC character from, I think he started in 70 something.
Look, he's less obscure than Condiment King.
I don't think so.
I do.
Maybe now, maybe then, maybe not now. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird because there's so little Batman in this episode that it almost didn't feel like a Batman episode. Like if Ra's al Ghul if Ra's al Ghul wasn't there, this is just a different show. Like I do wonder, like you're a child flipping through TV and you come across, oh, it's time for Batman. What the fuck is this? What am I watching?
Oh my god! If you missed the intro, yeah,
yeah. You're like, wait, is that guy supposed to? This is the mom. Is Mr. Peanut supposed to be Ra's al Ghul? I don't know what's going on.
There were several times though when it was like, I expected Batman to show up and something happens. It's very Batmanly.
Yeah. Every time that Jonah Hex like roped a guy from off screen or like swung in to kick somebody, you're like Batman, and then oh wait, I know you were doing that on purpose, but yeah, he was.
I'm waiting for the spoiler sort of thing that like turns out Jonah Hex is like a a stage name or whatever, and his last name is actually Wayne.
Right? Yeah. Or it was Batman on a time travel adventure, and he pulls off his perfect mask, his perfect human face. Oh, why would you do that gross lip thing? I thought it would give me away. Yeah.
I just really wanted to make a proboscis.
I wish he showed up and Ra's al Ghul's just going like, ew, gross. Like, can you put that away? Why did? Yeah, they don't explain why he looks like that, but I guess he's just some fucking Old West bounty hunter dude. You don't need to know why.
Yeah, he just needs
weird.
to look like a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. It was a weirdly like even though most Batman episodes are just Batman doing stuff in Gotham City. Like there's not every time that there's a new bad guy or whatever they're doing, they're usually at least in a different amusement park or a different warehouse or something like that. Like the fact that this is just so strangely change of pace, like I think it wasn't a good way. It was weird because I don't like as a kid I would skip this episode a lot if I popped in the DVDs or
because
whatever.
It's not Batman.
Because it's not Batman. I was like, why would I watch this? I don't care. But now, going through all these, it's like, oh no, this is pretty good actually.
Yeah.
It's something I don't know if I can really compare with like better Batman episode, like the top cream of the crop Batman episodes, just because it's like not a Batman episode. I don't know. Batman and Robin listened to a podcast in the car wasn't really part of the story. So yeah, barely. Yeah. I did like Jonah Hex's...
Where do we go from there?
I don't know. Jonah Hex's gun in his pants that's just pointing straight at his dick. Don't make me use this, please. I can't I can't actually move this. She'll just shoot my dick off.
Oh God! Hope he doesn't sneeze too hard at any point in time.
The music was cool. It had some twangs of like Cowboy Bebop-ish, Trigun-ish.
Yeah, just
old
straight
Westy
up
stuff.
like he like opens the the doors to the saloon and just goes ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Trigun. Yeah, and the title card was cool too. The like sunset coming through the swingy doors, whatever those are called.
Yeah, it was all red and foreboding.
Yeah.
The art. There was so many times. I don't know if you want to get into keen effects or not.
We can wait a little bit.
Okay, I'll wait a little bit.
Okay, do.
So in keen effects,
yeah.
I don't know quite what else to say about it. Like it's so atypical. It is absolutely not a Batman episode. That it's just kind of hard to stack up, but it's super cool. Like the story is really engaging. I think it gave them an opportunity, just like that. What was it, like the Batman running through the woods episode?
Oh yeah, sideshow. Yeah.
Like
just a completely different place than normal. Yeah.
Yeah, in that same way, like I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's so
Which
good.
that sideshow was another one that we talked about that I had said like, oh yeah, I don't remember this being good or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had just only seen it a couple of times. So yeah.
Yeah.
I had forgotten. I knew that it ended with Ra's al Ghul being like, "Here's my son. He's really old," but I didn't remember them stealing him at the start or whatever, kidnapping him and stuff. So like that whole scene was like, "Oh, I'm watching a new episode. I've never seen this before," or whatever.
Lost episode.
Also, it was
Spider-Man. It's Marvel meets DC.
Spider-Man: The Lost Episode. It was weird though because those are supposed to be the same. We saw them in the Off Balance, the swirly eyeball.
No way.
Guy. We saw them, but they were wearing like goggles, and they're like, "Oh, let me gas my own face to erase my memory on the Statue of Liberty." Do you remember this?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But it was, they don't look like Spider-Man there. They look like Spider-Man when Ra's al Ghul shows up in like later episodes. I almost said something, but I didn't remember that they looked like Spider-Man in this episode, like in this show at all. So it was like as soon as they swung in or whatever at the start, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're just doing this. Like this was the thing. Yeah.
You got to have something in Tribs about that because there's just no way that that's not Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't though. I don't know why they look like that.
But they're
it just looks like Spider-Man with a utility belt. Yeah, I don't know. But they're Spider-Man. All of my men were taken over by the Venom symbiote, and I can't get it off of them, so I just left it there.
As you should.
By the way, have you heard the Eminem song Venom? It's quite good. Let me play it. Let's talk about the cast. We got Kevin Conroy as Batman for like 5 minutes or less. Lauren Lester as Robin for less. Senator Patrick Leahy as Governor. And this was the guy that you were like, that's gotta not be a voice actor, and you're correct. So this guy is in almost every Batman movie. He has some sort of weird contract or something with them to just like, so he's just famously a lifelong Batman fan who's just like managed to weasel his way into almost every Batman thing. And I have no idea why. Like I was Googling like, yeah, but why? And it's like, oh, he's a big Batman fan. He's in all the stuff. Yeah. How though? Like, oh, well, he's in this and this and this. Why? like, I don't know. I can't figure it out.
What is he in? Do you have a list there?
Yes, I do. So he's in Batman Forever and Batman and Robin as himself. Okay. Like as Senator Patrick Leahy. He's in The Dark Knight as Gentleman at Party. He's like specifically grabbed by Heath Ledger Joker and he puts the knife to his mouth and everything. He's like, oh, where the fuck is Rachel or whatever? Like he's threatened directly by him. In The Dark Knight Returns, he's a Wayne Enterprises board member. And in Batman v Superman, he plays a character named Senator Purrington who gets blown up. And that's the last time we see him. So I wonder if that was like a purposeful, like, can I be in this scene where they all blow up? Like, can you kill me so I don't have to do this anymore?
That's wild as hell.
It is. Okay. He's also written an introduction for a 1992 compilation of Batman comics called The Dark Knight Archives, and a preface for Batman Death of Innocence, which was a 1996 graphic novel about the dangers of landmines.
Have you asked Dan Reba about this guy?
I don't think I have. That would be the place to go.
Can you text him?
Right now, I'll text him mid-episode. Okay?
Yes, please.
Can you play me through texting Dan Reba? Let's see here.
Texting Dan Reba.
So why was Patrick Leahy in like every Batman thing? Do you know the answer, sir? Okay. All right. That was that. Thank you very much. Yeah, he was a United States Democrat senator from Vermont, elected in 1974. What?
He's an East Coast boy.
I know.
That's Wicked Pissa.
That's Wicked Pissa right there. He just retired in January. Until like I thought he still was, but then I looked it up and he was not anymore.
Can you send him this episode?
Yeah. Yo, Patrick. He's listening to 20 minutes of us going, and then I played this stupid ass song. I guess all royalties and fees from Leahy's roles are donated to charities, primarily the Kellogg Hubbard Library in Vermont, where he learned to read as a child. So that's kind of cool. That's neat of him to do.
Okay, I like this dude.
Yeah, he's cool. He's nice. He seems good. There were some quotes from his in a political fashion that I didn't include. They were all very like, yes, good. You do good things.
We need to get crime off the streets. Bruce Wayne's family needs to be avenged.
Yes. I, Senator Patrick Leahy in Batman Forever, say this.
I, Senator Patrick Leahy, I want to make Gotham great again.
Nope. Whoops.
Wrong party. My bad.
Then we got Malcolm McDowell as Arcady Duvall. You know him probably from Clockwork Orange. He's the main guy that gets his eyes all held open and stuff.
Normal
he's a normal movie.
I haven't actually seen Clockwork Orange.
Oh,
but I've seen
you know
clips
that.
Yeah. I've seen footage of that scene.
Two other things that I wrote down of his that were interesting to me. He played the bad guy in Star Trek Generations, and he also plays Mad Mod in the Teen Titans cartoon. He will be back soon as a major Superman villain. Woo! Wow. David Warner. Oh, that was something that was kind of interesting when we're watching the episode, and they're like, I'm not going to do Ra's al Ghul being the lady. The lady's like, oh, and so I was a sexy lady, and I mean, no, it's she's like, oh, like all the people talking about a big monster in the sky, and they always shows up when that rock lights up or whatever. And you were like, it's Superman, and then I like shook my head, but then as soon as you said that, I had a thought of like, that would be the coolest fucking way to introduce Superman, is like have just this random one-off Old West episode of Batman, like, you know, fourth to last episode or whatever, and just have it just be like Batman doesn't even get to see or interact with Superman at all, but there's just like either a baby Superman or Superman's just like immortal or something, and he's just in like been living in the Old West secretly, like hiding out in the mountains. And then Jonah Hex walks up and like discovers him, and this is just our weird like introduction to Superman through the eyes of Jonah Hex, through the voice of Ra's al Ghul in Batman's Batmobile podcast tape.
Look. You can illustrate that, and I will take a percentage of your profits.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because you came up with the idea. Yeah.
Yes. You're welcome.
Now it'll be so disappointing when that's not how Superman's introduced.
Is he going to like crash land in a field somewhere, and some farmer's going to be like, oh, it's sun now. Come now, son.
It, baby, I take. He crash landed at Borat's house, apparently. This is
I have a son. I have a son.
Baby and Rocket. You will never get this.
Oh my God.
David Warner as Ra's al Ghul, who was hyphenated in the credits for some reason. Ra's al Ghul. Michael Bell as Airman Captain. I think that's the guy with the same mustache as Arcady Duvall that runs into the room and says, oh, the shit's exploding, he mastered Ra's al Ghul guy.
Wait, the UPS guy?
Was that UPS guy? I wasn't paying attention.
It's probably the UPS guy, because he's just... also, what else could he be?
UPS guy.
Like, what were UPS uniforms looking like in 1995?
1995. This is the 1800s.
What, you know what I'm saying?
This is over 100 years ago. That was kind of weird that when Robin, this episode's all over the place. When Robin said, like, oh, you'd have to be over 100 years old, and like Ra's al Ghul said it was what? I think he just said it was the 1800s, very like loosely.
So it'd be like 100 years old, 150. Maybe.
Yeah, like he could be anywhere from 150 to like almost 200 years old, and Robin's just like, I'm gonna leave it vague enough. There is no timeline, actually.
Have you used that?
No, because it's so vague. It means nothing.
Well, but the thing is,
it,
like,
it at least sets it in like the 1900s. So, like, you can't say it's not that. Or
you
whatever.
can. If it's 200 years and he says it's 1800s, then by that
he said
logic,
he said 100. Well, he said over 100, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 200. My bad.
No, I said 200. Robin didn't, but Michael Bell was previously additional voices in Heart of Ice, your favorite character, favorite episode. I must have talked about him before, but I forgot some of the things he was that was cool. He was additional voices in it. It's also probably fine if I just remind the audience every once in a while, because we're going to get a lot of the same people over time, and I'll be like, and this guy, well, he must not have done anything. Additional voices in a ton of video games and cartoons, including Duckman Private Dick.
Of course.
He was Chucky's dad in Rugrats, was like the longest running thing.
Charles?
Yeah, Chaz, yeah.
Or Chaz
yes.
Finster?
Finster, yeah.
Oh, man.
He was Quackerjack in Darkwing Duck, which was the jester-looking bad guy in Darkwing Duck.
Sure.
Batman in one episode of Tiny Toons. And he played Lex Luthor in the 80s Superman animated series and young Lex Luthor on Super Friends. He was Dr. Bruce Banner in the 80s Incredible Hulk animated series. Plastic Man in the 80s Plastic Man animated series. Handy Smurf in the Smurfs.
I'm sorry.
What was going on there? And Philip in Frisky Dingo. I don't know who Philip is, but I just figured I'd mention this.
Oh my God. I'm having a hard time remembering who Philip is too.
If you Google Philip, you'll see his face and you'll be like, it's that guy. There's a lot of
Phil,
characters.
one of the TV guys.
Sure.
Right?
Frisky Dingo. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh my God. Oh, listener, if you haven't watched Frisky Dingo, the animation isn't that good. It's fine. Just go watch it anyway.
I didn't realize it was kind of like pre-Archer.
It is
looking like it's
like
very
everybody
similar.
that worked on Archer.
Yeah.
Like everybody that came to work on Archer started in a Frisky Dingo. There's there's even literal callback characters. Like Trinette. Like
all you've
Archer
told me about the show is the one guy that just runs into a monster's mouth and dies or something. That's all.
You gotta watch it. I'll give it to you. You can hold on to it for a decade.
Okay. Oh my gosh, we'll have to swap Blu-ray sets soon. That's so weird. Anyway, William Bryant as Sheriff. The guy just being like, I'm not fat. Don't make fun of me. I'm leaving. That's all he said. He was bit parts in a ton of old 50s, 60s, and 70s stuff that I didn't recognize, so I didn't write any of it down.
Sweet.
He retired from acting shortly after this episode. Jonah Hicks ran him out of town. He's to get out of here. I got 2 guns.
Damn it, Jonah.
William McKinney as Jonah Hex. Lots of 70s and 80s westerns or cop dramas, which seemed fitting.
Yeah.
And he also played the Acme vice president in Looney Tunes Back in Action. Have you seen that? It's like a pseudo Space Jam sequel, but it's not at the same time. It's the only other live action. It's like a live action people interacting with Looney Tunes movie that's not Space Jam.
They're like, remember how Who Framed Roger Rabbit was so good?
Yeah.
Let's do that, but bad.
True. Yeah. It's Brendan Fraser and blonde lady that's in a bunch of early 2000s movies that doesn't do anything anymore, and I can't remember her name at all. And speaking of Lisa, speaking of which, sort of Elizabeth Montgomery as barmaid, blonde lady. I don't know, that's where my brain went.
Elizabeth Montgomery.
She's most known as the main character of Bewitched.
Oh,
Samantha Stevens. This episode was her last acting credit before her death on May 18th, 1995. It was my fault.
You devil.
Or Jessica's fault, one of the two.
That's true.
We're having our 4th birthday party, and we killed the bewitched lady. She was the pinata. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I wonder if Dan has answered
Jamie.
me. Let me change the subject. No, he hasn't answered me at all. What the hell, Dan? I'm recording a podcast here. You got to help me out.
It's dinner time, to be fair.
No. Yeah, well, this sounds braggy, but it's not. Multiple times in the last several months, I've been going to bed, and then I check my phone one final time, and I have a message from Dan at like midnight, 1 a.m. And I'm just like, well, but I can't just ignore this. I have to answer. I guess I'm having a conversation, and I'm sitting there going like, you can't complain about this, James. Like,
yeah, no.
just go with it.
Like, regardless, okay. Regardless of his stature within the realm that you inhabit so well, he's just such a good guy that he'd be that friend that texts you and you'd be like,
yo, like, Jamie, you up?
Man, like, I gotta go to bed, but I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. No. Well, then, but usually it winds up being some sort of like, by the way, I just found this cool ass storyboard in my closet or some shit. And I'd be like, yeah, thank you. I wanted to see that.
Dan, I'm not in bed. I totally have pants on right now.
Let's do trivs.
Let's do trivs. Number
Let's do
one.
trivs. Number one.
Oh, God. What was the name of it?
Oh, the Devil's Hole?
No. Dalton's.
What? Oh, Denton's.
Denton's.
Ink. Yeah.
There was a shop called Denton's Ink, and I'm like, that's got to be something. And it was a storyboard artist.
Yeah.
Jim Denton. Look it up.
I'm glad you remember his name. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll add it. You're just so proud of yourself. Yeah. Jim Denton. Whoa.
It's Denton time, baby.
This is his famous catchphrase.
It's busts down the door. It's Denton time. And everyone's like, oh, God, Jim's here again. Yeah, I'm here to make some art.
I heard Jonah Hex was in town, and I got my tattoo guns at the ready.
Jonah Hex, he's got a head like a potato.
Can I tattoo a potato on your body, please? Can we, like, you just stunned at that sentence.
I mean, I was just thinking, like, okay, what if we get matching potato tattoos, Jamie? You know, we're talking the cat paw thing, but like.
No, it's just for Jonah Hex. It refers to Jonah Hex's potato-shaped head.
What if we just get Jonah Hex's head tattooed?
On our heads.
On our heads.
The stringy lips across our face. It's just a line.
Let's get Jonah Hex tattooed in our proboscis. Proboscis?
Let's get a branding iron and melt our lips over our own lips.
Deal.
Okay, cool.
Jamie, it's about time you enter the body modification stage anyway.
Yeah. Jonah Hex first appeared in All-Star Western number 10, published by DC Comics in 1972. This is the first on-screen appearance of Jonah Hex, who would later go on to have his own movie in 2010 starring Josh Brolin, Megan Fox, John Malkovich, Michael Fassbender, and Will Arnett, in which he is also able to commune with the dead and therefore help them get justice. It sounds like a cool concept, but it's a terrible movie.
Oh, okay.
It's real bad.
Also,
I've watched it once.
That issue, All-Star Western number 10, fucking like almost $600 on eBay.
Oh, damn. Everyone wants a Jonah Hex. More famous than Condiment King. That's his special catchphrase, he said. According to director Kevin Altieri, this episode came about as a result of a conversation with Paul Dini following an episode record about bringing an obscure character into DC character into BTAS. Other names brought up in that conversation included, and I'm interested to hear your reaction to some of these, Sergeant Rock, Enemy Ace, Dial H for Hero, Hawkman, and the Demon. We will get three of these eventually, just a warning.
3? I thought maybe 1?
No, we'll get 3 of those. Dial H for Hero was kind of became Ben 10. It's the same exact concept. Joe Lansdale pitched multiple different versions of this story, but would only ever get Alan Burnett's approval. So I guess nobody else liked. Like, hey, what do you think about this? What about Sergeant Rock? And he's like, nope. Joe Lansdale has cited Jules Verne's Master of the World as inspiration on this episode.
Oh, okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I'm not.
This episode also heavily influenced by The Flashman Papers, a series of historical fiction books by George MacDonald Fraser, published from 1969 to 2005. The character of Arcady Duvall was based largely on the titular character Sir Harry Paget Flashman. You should look up Flashman, whatever. He looks exactly like Arcady Duvall. From Wikipedia, Flashman is a semi-aristocratic background. He recounted that his great
semi-aristocratic listener, just Google Flashman right now. There's nothing semi about that.
No,
Homeboy is
he
just he looks the aristocrat king.
You imagine Arcady Duvall, that's what he looks like. He recounted that his great-grandfather made a fortune in America out of slaves and rum, and piracy too, I shouldn't wonder. His father was a dissolute former member of Parliament, living beyond the bounds of respectable society, and his mother was born of the self-promoting Paget family. Despite joining the army after expulsion from school, Flashman is I see Flashman. It just sounds like a different superhero. Are you the Flash? No, I'm Flashman. I have a big mustache. Is a self-confessed coward with a false reputation for bravery earned at the expense of others, and despite him trying to avoid danger at all costs. He is also a scoundrel, a drunk, a liar, a cheat, and a braggart, who was described by Fraser as an unrepentant old cad whose only positive features are humor and shameless honesty as a memorialist.
This is the kind of entertainment you need to check into.
Yeah, you got to go read the Flashman papers, I guess. His voice actor, Malcolm McDowell, was cast specifically due to his role as Flashman in the film adaptation of Royal Flash, which was one of the books. So I guess he has played this character twice, kind of.
Sweet.
David Warner and Malcolm McDowell also appeared together in the 1979 film Time After Time, in which H.G. Wells, McDowell, travels from Victorian England to modern-day San Francisco in pursuit of Jack the Ripper, Warner. Also a cool concept, but I've never seen it. It won 4 Saturn Awards, which I think is good, but I don't know.
What is a Saturn Award?
Who knows? No. I do know that David Warner and Malcolm McDowell also appeared in back-to-back Star Trek movies.
Saturn Awards are American awards presented annually by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films.
You have to travel to Saturn to receive it.
Better than traveling to Uranus to receive it.
When writing this episode, Joe R. Lansdale told Bruce Timm he wanted to reinvent Jonah Hex. I want to make him an East Texan. I want him to be a Confederate. I didn't want him to want to make him necessarily somebody that saw all the wrongs of the Confederacy, although I do personally. Like, I had to tag that on. I wanted him somewhere caught as a man of his time and yet a man evolving out of that time. And then I wanted to bring in the supernatural element, and I wanted him to not be some guy that came from a family where the people had money. I wanted him to be a kind of dirt poor like I knew when I was growing up. And I felt I could give that a more realistic view. And I also wanted to show that his evolving views on things were changing, that had turned into a form of cynicism in some cases, satire in others, and just a raw, dark sense of humor.
Okay.
I think he achieved that.
But his hat, was his hat very Confederate?
I was kind of thinking that. I think it might have,
was.
Like, the strings on it like almost evoked the like little cross symbol of that, but it wasn't quite. I don't know. Kevin Altieri has stated that there was a sequence cut from this episode. Since the episode aired on a Saturday rather than the show's regular afternoon slot, an extra minute had to be cut from its runtime, which I didn't know was a thing. That's my first time hearing about it. And I also wonder where something would have been cut and what it would have been, because nothing felt like, how did they get to that thing? I don't know.
It was in the podcast. It was just Batman and Robin talking for a minute.
Hello. Please flip to side B, he said. And then there's a minute of Batman ejecting the tape, and then he puts it in, and it's starting to play halfway through a sentence. And you might want to. You got to rewind to the start. Actually, you didn't quite get to the end. This was a problem that the young folk listening to this podcast don't have to deal with anymore. Anyway, then the Demon's Quest Part 1, Ra's al Ghul claimed he had no sons, which is why he wants Batman to be his heir. It's likely Ra's had lost track of Arcady Duvall and in any case already disowned him. But I guess in this he's just like, let me have my boy, please.
So that's just a big plot hole then, hey?
I guess. There are at least 2 possible references to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Hex makes reference to himself being like a bad penny. which I guess must have been in that movie.
Sure.
And although Jonah Hex loses his hat, it somehow returns to him at the end of the episode. I guess I didn't really notice that.
I didn't either.
Does he have it at the end?
There is a point where he like picks up his like smoking hat. Oh, it's after the explosion.
Okay. Duvall mentions being a Heidelberg fencing champion. Academic fencing was a craze in the late 1800s, especially at German universities like Heidelberg. Any scars or smites resulting from the fight would be seen as a badge of honor, and it appears Duvall suffered one too on his right cheek. Okay.
Oh my God.
This is somewhat strange, as the smites were usually on the left side of the face, the result of a right-handed swordsman. Okay. He only fights the lefties.
Yeah, he's a southpaw.
And when Rachel Ghul's crewmen abandon the airship, their parachutes have a pyramid-like shape. This design comes from the notes of Leonardo da Vinci. This implies that Rach either studied the works of Leonardo or possibly...
Or he was Leonardo.
Oh, my God. I got one...
That's not how that works.
Which I thought maybe you might say, but I don't know for sure if this is... Hydrogen burns with an almost invisible flame, and because it's lighter than air, rapidly rises. If a cannonball did burst a cell and ignite the gas, the cell in the blimp would quickly collapse and the flames would head up. Is that true? I guess it's true. I don't know. The internet told me it must be.
I don't know.
All right, cool. Keen effects. What are you going to say?
When Jonah Hex goes into that bar, he like sits down or something. There's like a really cool like red puff of smoke that like billows out. There was a couple others, but I can't think of them right now.
Every time that he does like at least twice, if not three times, he like punches at the camera to knock someone out, and it's like a really smooth, good shot of him punching at the camera. I don't know. I liked him.
What about the whatever the
Spider-Man.
Who was it? Spider-Man. Somebody was looking through a telescope.
Oh yeah,
thing.
Yeah, you made like a when it happened.
Yeah, so it's like you're like seeing through the like what's it called?
Lens. I don't
No,
know. No, I know what you're talking about.
It's not telescope. There's a name for it.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yes, listener, thank you for that. That's exactly what it was. Thank you for saying that out loud.
For saying it. Nautical telescope. Spy telescope. I swear it does have a name. I think you're right, but it's not coming up like it.
A monocular?
I suppose that does make sense to call it that. What is it called? A spyglass, I guess. Okay.
Spyglass?
I don't know. Anyway, I like monocular.
Yeah, anyway, you're looking through the monocular and it's all zoomed in, and then as it pulls away, you kind of get like the blackout from it.
Yeah.
Like you kind of get like the as if you were pulling away yourself, and then it's kind of third person looking over who's his face, its shoulder. Ra's
al Ghul's standing right next to whoever was looking through that. And like barks an order at him right afterward, and I thought it would have felt very Looney Tunes, but if his just like big detailed eyeball came into the middle, I was just like, hey fuckhead, do the thing I need you to do, or something, stop spying on the town, shoot the town. Actually, that was a cool shot too. All the cannonballs coming at the camera that took out the episode for a second.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. It seemed like there was a lot of good thought into the art in this episode, and I have to assume that it's like, we're going off the rails on this one, just do whatever.
Yeah, make it clean, make it good.
Yeah, and it was clean and it was good.
Yeah, the big red sun at the end was interesting, like it was darker than the sky, but I guess maybe smoke or something. Batman's usefulness in this episode.
Ooh. 0.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he successfully put the tape in the tape player.
That's,
and then he let Ra's al Ghul get away on purpose. I don't know.
So that's the thing. As per your original thought, if Batman wasn't here, he would have just gotten away. Nothing would have changed except Batman wouldn't have listened to the podcast.
True. Yeah, that's actually the definition of the Batman's usefulness segment. Good job. What's
Thank you.
What object are you giving him?
0. The song 0 by the Smashing Pumpkins on Ra's al Ghul's mixtape out of 10.
He said, "Do you like Smashing Pumpkins?" And Batman said, "I love doing that."
What about you?
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't steal mine. I'm going to give him 0 monoculars out of 10. I was like, don't say it. Don't say monoculars, please. Or 0,
I wasn't even thinking about it.
0 Ra's al Ghul's original bat wings out of 10. He got on like a bike pedal bat wing and it flew away.
He did. That was a pseudo Da Vinci steal, actually.
Yeah, no.
Da Vinci's helicopter was like foot pedaled, I think.
Yeah.
0, oh God.
What?
Oh, 0 proboscises out of 10.
Yeah, okay. 0 single water buckets that guy throws on the hydrogen explosion.
That's
just
right.
Gonna help.
I forgot about that. Just runs up to a hydrogen fire over his head with a gallon
Was that
of
you
water.
that sent me the video of the it was like an entire building or forest or something on fire, and the lady goes to her balcony and throws like a cup of water out. It was like, oh yeah, that's really helping. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The person filming is like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That was amazing.
What did that make me think of though? Oh, the Batwing thing. It was kind of funny that in a fun way, I guess. I liked that Ra's al Ghul, he's taking it so seriously as he bike pedals his Batwing, Da Vinci Batwing away, because to him, like, that doesn't seem old timey and stupid and weird because it's just like the most advanced technology at the moment or whatever.
Right.
So yeah,
but just like cool. Somebody slingshot a bicycle with a Batwing made out of paper on top.
Yeah, I did like shoot him off the side. I thought he was just gonna bike away, but then it just like rubber banded him off the thing.
Sure did.
Good luck, assholes, he said as he shot away, and they all died. They all died after that. There's no way.
I hope you like fire.
Yeah. Please have like the 3 people that it takes to shoot me off this thing still agree to do it, and then die.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe it was self-propelled. I don't know. There was a lot of people that were parachuting away in their pyramid parachutes.
I guess because Batman wasn't Jonah Hex, clearly. Maybe like they were allowed to have Jonah Hex like kill people or something. Because he also
it sounded like he made a habit of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he also just murdered like all those Smees that were in the middle of the. he rolls the bomb at them. Yeah, he rolled the bomb at them, and it still gave them all plenty of time to like climb out the window, but they were all still like mid-window climb when it exploded, and like some of them, I swear, like just shot out of the window. So I don't know.
You just see a striped T-shirt go flying through the sky,
slightly singed, floating down onto the ground.
Fluttering.
Books or hip hop this episode?
Ooh, books.
Okay.
Like a good classic Western book.
It makes more sense to be books. Yeah.
Yeah, written by Zane Grey.
Detective, I've added a few extra hip-hop tracks to my funky, fresh beats.
It's this.
Under the Tonto Rim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Starring
I'm really
Flashman and Jonah Hex.
I'm related to this dude.
Zane Manili. Zane Grey. I wonder if Dan Reber. Oh, shit! Well, he's... Okay, Dan. He's telling you...
What?
He's a huge Batman fan. That's the reason. He collected the comics since he was a child and still reads comics when we were doing the cartoon. He wrote the intro to one of the first archive editions of Batman comics. Yeah, I knew all that. Yeah, I know all that.
But why?
But why?
Just ask, like, as a super fan, how does a super fan become part of the show?
Get on the show. Did he just go, hey, I'm a senator, let me do what I want? Do you put this on your top 10, Bri? Take a look at your top 10.
Well, so here's
Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Ba-da-da-da. Take a look at my son, Batman. He's really fucking old. Joe's look at all this shit Joe's missing.
Oh
what the hell,
God, Joe, where are you? So here's the thing. I think I probably would by sheer entertainment value, but like it just doesn't seem like a Batman
It's
episode.
a different show, yeah. Well, yeah, it's. I mean, it counts though. It's btas. You gotta. I don't know. Is it better than POV to you? It's been so long since you've seen POV. How do you even remember?
I know it's been a long time.
I don't think it's going on mine, but it is a pretty dang good episode.
It's really good.
I want to watch it next time I'm thinking of it. I'll be like, yeah, good episode, instead of like, that's that weird Old West one that I'd never rewatch. So,
I think that's a glorious way to kind of like commemorate it in your head bits.
it made James's I'll give it another chance list or whatever.
I mean, I would way rather watch this than probably 40 other Batman episodes.
Yeah.
If not 50, if not 60, if
So
not
you could say 70, yeah.
65, 70.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's certainly more memorable than POV. Man, that's a really hard I don't think I've ever been so on the fence with one.
Well, I don't, if it's not obvious enough, I guess you can choose not to.
It just feels wrong because it's not a Batman episode at all. At all.
Yeah, it's like a cool offshoot. Like, when else are you going to see fucking Jonah Hex in a cartoon or whatever? So
Yeah. I think I'm going to keep it off of mine.
Yeah.
But it was off my top 10. But
honorable mention. Yeah,
it's super. Yeah, it's a super fun episode. It just doesn't quite feel like a Batman episode.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do Yoppie Mail, and then when we come back, I will tell Brian the name of the next episode, which is like the third to last Batman episode.
Oh my God, we're knocking on the door here, Jamie.
Knocking.
There it is.
He's just playing Stairway to Heaven. Okay,
Poorly
detective, I think you've
on
got
guitar.
about 14 minutes till you get to where I am, so I'm going to... Ubu's going to recite you a limerick in the background. Ubu didn't say shit this episode.
He's just there wearing a cape.
He's wearing his purple pants.
That yacht. That one small extra yacht put it over.
We drop
What we drop?
our weekly yachts
Oh yeah, those.
into the comment box. There sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're all
At least I am.
just Dylan Pollock.
How do you think Dylan's doing?
He's doing great.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I think so. If you want to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of the Canada Claw Part 2, email us at batwagonpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
If you send a voice message, please keep it under 60 seconds, one per person, for the sake of the length of the show.
Yep.
And you can and should leave us a comment on today's podcast on the Podtower YouTube channel. But if you send in mail or leave a comment, please do not spoil anything past this episode for Brian.
Look,
So anyway.
because I'm not going to hear about it anyway, so
You
don't
won't hear
waste
it.
your typing breath.
Hey, you're just going to type, and I'm not going to read it. This first message comes from Joe Scott. Hey, let me play it for you here.
James, Brian,
That's us.
you guys
Hey.
have been trying to reach me. You're probably wondering why you haven't been able to get a hold of me. Mm-hmm. The word on the street is this upcoming episode only has Ra's al Ghul in it for, I don't know, like 2% of the episode. Clearly, if you go back to my contract, page 16, Article 2, line 5, you can see that Ra's al Ghul needs to be in at least 40% of the episode for me to be involved. We'll have our people contact each other, and we'll see if we can get this resolved for the next one. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, that
makes
explains
sense.
it. That
makes sense,
explains
yeah.
Joe's disappearance.
That's why Joe's not here. This is from Max Farr with 2 R's. I ruined your airdate order controversially. Hiya, James and boiled potatoes.
Hey.
My name is just James. Like a good noodle, I've been listening to your podcast in its airdate order, with one exception. About a month ago, I finally got around to listening to your Phantasm episode. If you're asking, Riddler voice, why did he do it? I have to know. I've had an idea to build a mini Lego Gotham skyline that doubles as a minifigure scale City of Tomorrow. And I've been holding off listening to that episode so I can build along to the episode. Juggling life and adult things. I thought he was going to reveal that he also juggles. That would have been cool. Oh, well.
Yo, any jugglers out there, come hang
Listen
out.
to the podcast. I finally got around to it. Here's the link to my Insta where it'll be on display for eternity. I realize for listeners this isn't the best, so Chalky Chip Mox is the handle. CHOCCYCHIPMOCS.
Oh my God. Hold on. CHOCCY.
Uh-huh.
Is it all one word?
Yeah. Chip MOCS. Pin the post so anyone listening anytime can find them easily. Stay Yoppie. Max. Thank you, Max. I looked at it already.
Oh,
Brian's
Max
looking at it now. Max Far.
Oh my God. Dude, that's amazing. Also, good use of like super obscure Legos.
Yes. Scotty Cameron. Archie Andrews and his trio of terrible Batman villains. Hey, Yoppie dudes. Great show as always. Thank you. Too bad the terrible trio isn't so great. Actually, it's terrible. So a bunch of rich guys decide to commit a crime, particularly theft, because they're bored. How lame. Seriously, we have villains in this world that are evil because of freak accidents or criminals who try to take control of the crime scene in Gotham. Then we just have these rich losers in animal masks who just commit theft because they're bored. I've never liked the terrible trio when they're depicted as guys in animal masks because they strike me as rejects from Black Mask's False Face Society, which is something we'll never see in the cartoon.
Okay.
Which feels uninteresting to me. I prefer it when the terrible trio are depicted as people who are mutated into animals, like in The Batman cartoon, where they steal chemicals from Brian's favorite villain, Man-Bat, and use them to turn themselves into animals. Would you have preferred that if they were animal people? Would it have made the episode better or worse for you?
Oh, God. Probably not worse.
It's impossible, I guess, yeah. It must be better. I finally got btas Volume 3, so now I can pop in the discs with the final episodes instead of stream them, and there are 4 left. Stay happy, Scotty.
Oh, yes.
Keen Machine, the lost episode. Greetings, Brian and James. I said Brian's
Hello.
name first this time. Yeah, bringing it back.
Don't you forget it.
Boy, how fun was last week's trip into the video game universe, eh? I don't think I've ever watched the full set of clips for this lost episode before, so I made sure to do so before diving into your review. Despite the obvious quality reductions necessary for a 90s console and the breaks for gameplay, the plot's not too shabby at all. Still, if it's a whoopin' you're a-wantin', sounds like the actual gameplay leaves the best of players frustrated. I mean, yowza, ladies and germs. We've got Ivy, Riddler, Harley, Joker, fake Rupert Murdoch, and Clayface. That's a full house. Too bad they didn't get their character music themes featured in 8-bit glory. Ah, what could have been.
Ooh, yeah.
However, I'd still say I like the plot of Batman Vengeance the most, since another video game that we'll probably watch.
Oh, my God.
Keep it keen machine.
We shall.
It's from Ryan Hip. Bird noise. Dear Yop and P, I've been listening to the pod, trademark symbol, during walks. And true story, during one episode, a bird flew overhead and made a bird noise, and the two of you reacted to a bird noise from when you were recording perfectly on cue to the bird noise that I had just experienced, which freaked me the hell out.
Whoa.
And I think something like that happened again in a different episode, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe I felt a gust of wind, and immediately after one of you mentioned a gust of wind, or whatever. Please stop it. Love, Ryan.
No, Ryan, that's okay. We're going to keep doing it. We just,
that shark attack over there.
No. Ryan, don't go to the water.
Don't go to the water. We have a new review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, my God.
The new review comes from Ted Kendrick.
Hey, I know that guy.
Your optimal podcast, a.k.a. Yop. James and Brian are two people in the top 100 funniest people I know. Brian is 32nd and James is 54th, but they're both pretty funny. James knows a lot about Batman and Brian is very patient. It's not easy to be patient with people who know a lot about Batman, but Brian does a pretty good job. That's the review.
Buddy.
Thank you, Ted.
I'm not that patient, but I suppose I am in this instance.
This is from Brad. 10 million. Howdy, bum and jizz. Oh, no. So the other day...
Brad, what?
Come on, Brad. Don't come on, Brad. So the other day, I was reading some Superman comics from the 80s, and in one issue, Metropolis's population is mentioned. Guess what number they give? Go on.
10 million.
Say it. Yup, 10 yopping million. So I did some digging in the history of populations being given in DC, and it turns out the 10 million figure was also given in the episode Egg Grows in Gotham of the 60s Adam West show. Not only that, but that Superman comic I mentioned, about a year later, they cite 11 million. So what gives? Why does this keep happening? How DC's Earth works is that the many fake locations like Gotham, Metropolis, etc., Oh, sorry. I was skipping them for spoilers, but I'll like Gotham Metropolis, Big Bus, and the Clitoris. Don't replace existing real world locations. They exist in addition to real places. So in order, there's a shark over there. Look, and in order to allow for continents on the globe to still resemble the real Earth, the planet has to simply be bigger to accommodate for it. In fact, in 2003's JLA Avengers crossover, the Marvel heroes arrive in the DC universe and remark how much bigger the planet is compared to their own. So some cities and their populations are probably pretty big as well to make up for this continental stretching effect.
So wait, does it mean the city itself has also stretched, and that's why a city of 10 million can seem like a ghost town because it's the size of Texas?
Yeah, the Marvel characters come in and everything is just way smaller. Like people are smaller. They're like, what's going on?
Batman is one of the tallest people in Gotham. He stands at a whopping 15 inches.
This makes me wonder, is the sun bigger as well? Are days longer? If American cities are so absurdly massive, is the global population also 10 times bigger? Do hot dogs come in packs of 12 there? How do magnets work? I'm starting to think this world of flying Caucasian aliens and child sidekicks being expected to dodge gunfire might be slightly silly and unrealistic. I look forward to Jimothy having to explain some of the more wild comic booky concepts when we get to the later shows. I am ending this email now. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brad.
This is from Scarloey1. Jump on the mechanic wagon.
Scarloey1, the famous person?
Hello, listener, and welcome to Jump on the Mechanic Wagon. I'm your host, Scarloey1. In this episode, I will tell you about Season 2, Episode 16 of Earl, the animated series, Bat Smoke. One day in 1894, a blacksmith was standing outside his shop when a masked man dressed all in black rode up on a black horse. My horse needs new horseshoes. I can do that, partner. After the blacksmith reshoed the horse, the masked man said, "Thanks for the help, partner. What's your name?" "The name's Earl. Earl!" yelled Robin as Earl woke up in the back of the Batmobile. "You need to stop dozing off like this," said Robin. Sadly, there are only 3 episodes left after this. Anyway, see you next week. Same TV time, same poo-poo channel.
We'll have to get a different character.
Scarloey, not even any like. There's only 3 episodes left, but
the end.
No. There's only 3 episodes left. So soak in that and go to bed.
Yeah. Earl was listening to the Racial Girl podcast and fell asleep.
Yeah.
Jordan Newman, GCN Musical Minutes, sent from my iPhone.
You're listening to GCN, Gotham City News with Jack Ryder. Tonight's top story, Batman was spotted in his car listening to a podcast,
yes!
for about 20 minutes. I don't know what's going on, but he seemed pretty engaged with it. Guess it was a good podcast.
Thank you.
Now over to the music. I like the music in this episode, I think. I actually meant to... I watched this episode over a week ago, and I meant to record one of these for it then, and then I forgot. So now it's been like a week and a half since I watched the episode, and I don't really remember what the music was like, but given the Old Westness of it, I'm assuming it was cool, although my not remembering it, maybe that's a bad thing, I don't know. Never apologize for loving your fandom, and try to stay optimistic.
Can we get Jordan on the podcast?
I've been trying to figure it out. I just mentioned I was on his podcast recently
to
talk about The Flash. Did you listen to that whole thing? I know you started it.
I listened until the point it was exactly 1 minute in. We're like, Brian, stop listening to this, and I was like, fuck.
But
and
then I told you
and I texted you, and then you did, and I haven't. I listened to a little bit more. I was at work, and I didn't get a chance to finish it, so I need to go back and revisit.
I listened to it a couple of days ago, and there's like 2 other parts where I'm like, Brian, stop listening or something, but it really isn't anything you can't hear. It's just like I say like the title of a movie or something. Anyway.
We need to get Jordan on. We need to get Dylan back on.
We're having Dylan back soon.
Are we?
We are.
That's a wonderful surprise.
I was talking with him. We're having 2. Hopefully, I mean, I said this about Joe coming on, but we're having 2 more guests before Batman's over, I believe.
There's like 4 episodes.
So,
going out with a bang.
Louisiana Purchase, Cowboy Adventures, Howdy Partners, I totally didn't forget this episode existed and had to rewatch it. Personally, I really enjoyed this episode. Love cowboy nonsense, and it's great having a change of scenery after being in Gotham for so many episodes. I love that Raish felt the need to tell this extremely detailed story about how his dickweed dickweed fail son got his ass beat by an old recovering alcoholic bounty hunter instead of actually answering any questions whatsoever. He managed to track down every detail about this event prior to the actual involvement, but misplaced his child. Good job, bro. Also, that's not how gas going through a tube works. Yeah, okay. I really enjoyed the weight of animation in this episode. Jonah's running after the rope to grab onto the airship was a personal favorite of mine. I hope you guys got an eyeful of the molten lead because it reminded me of the magic that wizards would shoot in 80s and 70s movies. The little spark flashes. My mind instantly went to The Last Unicorn. We need to bring those weird holographic magic blasts back. Major downside of this episode is that no one said dirigible, which is one of the coolest words ever. All in all, I like this one. Just a nice adventure. I do think that what if Batman didn't have a cassette player in the Batmobile? What am I supposed to do with this?
He's so advanced, he's got a CD player.
Yeah, he's got CDs, yeah. Also, my birthday is August 7th. Did you know the first week of August is International Clown Week? I was set up from birth to be ridiculous. As always, thanks for the Yopperies, Louisiana purchase.
Love a good clown. There's a lot of clowns in the circus
Clowns
community.
Doing circle juggling. Gotta love it.
Not
because
that.
we skipped a week, I'll allow an extra Keen Machine mail.
Hooray!
Showdown mail. Greetings, James and Brian. Please excuse my lower audio quality. I think there's something wrong with my microphone. As always, keep it keen. Oh, no.
Shoot.
Oh, this is bad. Oh, my God. You fuck.
Now, introducing by unpopular demand, the Trust Fund Furries.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to skip that episode, actually. Moving right along to Showdown. What a much better episode. Not much Batman, but who would have guessed Raish had a secret son? Also, how old would you have to be to have lived through the Wild West and still be in a nursing home in Gotham City? James, can we get a timeline check on that? Maybe that green lava can be passed along genetically? Sorry, I'll leave the questions to Dylan. Very happy to have a returning guest host back for this episode. Sure, you did great, buddy.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep it keen.
Yeah, Joe was great. I love.
Joe was great on this episode.
He was, yeah. I thought you were doing a bit, but my microphone's bad, and then it was a radio, but then your microphone was bad, so I don't know. Maybe it's still part of the bit. I think that they said some throwaway line about dipping Arcady in the Mountain Dew, and then but it didn't. He hadn't done it for a long time or something. Yeah. Dylan Pollock for Joe's eyes only. Oh,
shoot.
It's an audio message, so I think our ears don't count as eyes, right?
Okay, so just don't look at it when you click
Okay,
on it.
I won't.
It's time for the thoughts of the week from Dylan Pollock on Showdown. Or, damn, they had to make Jonah Hex bald, too? He ain't got enough going on? So is this Robin Punch a guy riding the dick? And are you not making that the episode subtitle? Because if you're not, that's whack.
Wait, what did he say?
Enough going on? So is it just me, or does Robin Punch a guy riding the dick?
Oh, he does.
And are you not making that the episode subtitle? Because if you're not, that's whack.
Yes.
It also kind of feels like this week Paul Dini said, but I don't want to write a Batman episode. I want to write Jonah Hex. And they appeased him. If Ra's al Ghul did become Master of America, I mean, we've had worse, right? I'm sure James already talked about Senator Leahy as the guy driving the Spike and how he's been in almost all of the bad things, right? If he didn't, I mean, he should know that already. I don't need to say it. I'm going to skip to the next thing. It's time for the question of the week.
Yes.
James and Joe's favorite part.
And Joe.
What's your favorite season? Fall weather and the return of football put autumn over the top for me. And since I still got some time, I guess I should put in a second question of the week. But this one's just for Brian. We know the question of the week is James's favorite part. What's your favorite part?
Oh. Well, first of all, my favorite season is season 2, but I think he was talking about Justice League. So anyway,
Spring's my favorite. Wait,
right.
what?
Huh? What's your favorite part in general?
Oh, I can't say that on the air.
Yeah. Okay. We're doing the same joke.
I mean, really though, like my favorite part is probably watching the episode. Your questions are a close second, let me tell you.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good answer. This is from Dino Faced Individual, Showdown Hench Reviews. Comment submitted by Uwu Ubu. I thought it was going to be a normal day at work, yelling infidel as my only form of communication, doing that specifically to Batman as I beat him up, Tuesday stuff and whatnot. Well, to my surprise, Mr. All tells me that we're going to be taking his son home for the holidays. I figured it'd be a hot 30-something like Talia. Turns out my knight was going to be heisting a geriatric. In the process of kidnapping the elderly, I found that Duval had a journal lying around. It was pretty old. It smelled like pre-feminism with a hint of oil baron. Here's the entry from the journal that really intrigued me the most. I, Arcady Duval, am in prison. I eat rocks, especially pointy ones. I rate rocks 5 out of 5. I feel like Hench Reviews has jumped the shark-headed member of the terrible trio. Yeah, I can see why Raish thinks he lost the plot. There's meta on like 6 different levels there, man. Yeah. What are you doing? Our last email comes from Fiacra Horgan. Thoughts on Showdown or Wild West Two-Face? Hey guys, time for some more Batman shenanigans. A quick note on the terrible trio. Poor Frank Parr, the guy got stuck directing some of the worst stories in animation in BTAS, The Underdwellers, I've Got Batman in My Basement, Prophecy of Doom, and now the terrible trio. At least he gets to direct one of BTAS's best episodes, which is coming up pretty soon.
Oh.
I'm very curious to hear Brian's thoughts on Showdown. I like how drastically different it is to other BTAS episodes. It's also one that I hated as a kid, but I've really warmed up to as an adult. We are so alike. It's always fun to get a Ra's al Ghul story, especially when you throw in an underrated DC character like Jonah Hex into the mix. Having an episode of Batman be more focused on an obscure character like Jonah is an odd choice, but I think it pays off as an interesting bit of world building for the DCAU. The ending twist of Arcady being Raish's son was pretty neat. P.S. Hey, Batman, I know having compassion for your enemies is kind of your thing, but I think letting an eco-terrorist who is the leader of the League of Assassins escape might not be the best call. See you guys next week.
Yeah, that was an interesting... I mean, like, there's some compassion there, and he was all, hey, yeah, your boy, cool, I get it, family, lol.
Hey, it's your boy, Raish here. Hot on the mic, detective. Whoever said they liked Jasha's Raish impression a few episodes ago is getting a kick out of this one.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Comments on the last episode of Jump on the Bat-Wagon.
We got to get Mark's comment, obviously.
And Mark Hamill, the last episode, which was the terrible trio or hospital dad, he's only a painting. Revealing the title choice is my favorite part of the podcast. Scrudge. I'm choosing to believe that Jonah Hex isn't actually a real person in this universe. He's just Jeff Al Ghul's super badass original character that he created to make the airship story more interesting. Maybe, yeah.
Could be.
Jeremy Swires 99. Hello, Jamie and brother Bullet Brick Broderick.
Hello.
1. Surprised you said my last name right, Jamie, as so many managed to get it wrong, and I've never thought it was that complicated. I hope I said it right again the same time.
I was talking over it. Can you say it again?
Jeremy Swires.
Oh.
I think that's right. And as I predicted, by the time I reached the last episode I commented on, I had entirely forgotten and was baffled to hear my name. And as for Night Shift, Brian, it's a killer, good old 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., but I got the Yoppie dudes to get me through it. Pee-pee poo-poo.
Oh, God.
Charles Motosierra. Regarding Showdown, it's nice to get a break from the setting and tone of BTAS, especially after the very terrible trio. A Wild West adventure with Rose Algae is an excellent idea that's executed pretty well. As I read that, I'm like, what the fuck is Rose Algae? Oh, I get it. The fact we got the first adaptation of Jonah Hex to other media is also cool. I'm sure Joey will say something smart right now. He's probably saying something smart wherever he is. Assuming Jumbo and Barney aren't in the future, in which case the dogs will fill the role of Joe in my prediction.
Oh.
We're not in the future. We're just Sans Joe. Now living in an era of revisionist westerns, it's weird to see a story that doesn't acknowledge segregation or genocide and summarizes the problems of Manifest Destiny as destroying nature, which is a big part of it, but still. It's also weird the bad guys want to bombard Washington and everyone is just worried about the railroad.
It was the 1800s. The railroad's what we must all care about.
You gotta love how Rizzi Galileo changed his style to something even older looking between 1883 and the 1990s. Also, is it just me or was everyone in the retirement home already sleeping before they were guests?
Yep, absolutely.
Fun fact, although airships were already a thing in 1883, it would be decades until Zeppelin would make the first rigid airship, which seems to be what the thing in the episode is. Okay, so maybe they did say 1883 specifically. I don't know. Whatever. So I guess we're past the 80s, Robin. We're not in the 80s. Okay. Ronish 1996. Of course, the first podcast episode I'm caught up with is this terrible BTAS episode. And the following week is no new episode. Guess I'll finally be watching said episodes beforehand now so I can get some commentary on things that are or aren't peachy keen. Since I listen on Overcast, I just come to YouTube to comment. Here are some random opinions of mine. Lockup was a based episode of BTAS and definitely in my top 5 episodes. I will always love this series for showing how much empathy Bruce has for his villains, even those that don't deserve it, and prove it with their terrible actions. I loved the episode so much I tweeted Paul Dini about it. Also, my top 10 in no particular order. Almost Got Him, Lockup, Dreams in Darkness, Beware the Grey Ghost, I Am the Night, The Man Who Killed Batman, Pav, Robin's Reckoning, Trial, Second Chance. Those are all solid choices. Bottom 10, I Can't Be Fucked to Write. There's your proof I'm an Aussie. It's 5:53 a.m. Leave me alone, teehee.
Oh, no, I need to add another to my Aussie wall?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
All right, who we got?
It's spelled Ronish, Ron-ish. Or it's Autism in Comic Books is the username I see now.
Well,
it's too late. Ronish. You're Ronish now. Slacks Pain, statistically speaking, this was someone's first and therefore probably last episode of the DCAU. Terrible trio. Banana Boy says okay.
Okay.
Batgirl Fangirl. It would be funny if Ra's al Ghul's tape got stuck in the Batmobile's radio. Years later, let's listen to some music. The year was 1883. Oh, yeah, that. Batman's usefulness, 0. Yes. If Batman and Robin weren't in the episode, it'd play out exactly the same. Did the poor staff and residents of the rest home wake up surrounded by ninjas? Even though there's a lack of Batman in it, I really like this one. The story, animation, music, perfect. When it's over, I want to see more of Jonah Hex. Great messages, Scarloey 1, Dylan, Jordan, and Summer. Keen podcast, James Bryan and the Dogs. 5 stars and 5 world's heaviest yet somehow buoyant airships.
Thank you.
And first we have Mark Aquino. Showdown.
Who comments before listening to the episode.
He sure does, but it's how he gets it every time, man. Almost there. Showdown, old-timey prospector voice. Well, howdy. Sit down, partners. Pour yourself a sarsaparilla and watch out for dysentery.
Okay, you're just doing what's
Sheriff
his
of Nottingham.
You're doing the guy from Gravity Falls. Holy God, what is his name?
I don't know.
Kimmy?
I don't know.
What's his name?
Never watched it. I don't know. Never will.
Oh, God, that hurts me, Jamie.
Pour yourselves a sarsaparilla and watch out for dysentery, because this here ain't no average Batman tale, but the introduction of the fastest guns in the DCAU, Jonah Hex. And not only that, but the return of Razzle Dazzle All Gabagool. Excuse me, I had something in my throat. Better get that checked out. Anyway, this was a pleasant surprise. I had forgotten that towards the end of BTAS, we got a Batman episode that was essentially a backdoor pilot for a Jonah Hex animated series. Would I have liked to have seen one just off the back of this episode alone? Yeah, absolutely, as this was a really good episode. With the BTAS team behind it, a Jonah Hex animated series definitely would have been better than the Jonah Hex movie from 2010. I feel bad for the people who paid to see that instead of a little movie called Toy Story 3, which came out the same day. Way to go, WB. The episode opened in the present day with the return of Raish's ninjas that in no way look like Spider-Man in his black costume if it was just solid black. And boy, are you silly for making that comparison, you silly goose.
Whoops, sorry.
Brian. Lots of fun steampunk vibes in this. It played out as a better version of the infamous Wild Wild West movie with Will Smith. Yeah, that's very true. Minus the giant spider that was intended for Tim Burton's unmade Superman movie. Are you aware of this?
No.
This was a Nicolas Cage as Superman in 1996, I think.
Nope. Say no more. Let's keep going.
There's a big spider. It was great to hear David Warner back as good old Rash Cream, and I loved that Malcolm McDowell was in this too. This won't be the last time we hear his voice, but that's all I'll say on that. I already told Brian. Boss Biggest Bear Hugs is the number one. What?
Oh. Nope. Keep going.
Huh? Boss Biggest Bear Hugs is the number one podcast host in this here multiverse of ours. Jack Rabbit Slims and Bang Win Old Betsy, my one and only Betsy. Also, given that this is an episode featuring our pal Race, shout out to Joe. Yeah, Joe was here for sure.
Yeah, Joe.
Old timey prospector voice. It's getting closer and closer to the end where we got to say, adios to old Bruce Man and Richard for a while for the Batmobile to go riding off into that there sunset. It won't be long before we'll all be saying, "Come back, Wayne." Been wanting to use that Hey Arnold reference once I knew this episode was coming. Anywho, y'all come back next week. You hear? Smoke bomb. Thank you.
Old Man McGucket.
That's the character I'm doing, apparently?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. Just look that up. Your voice is like almost perfect.
I knew that because I've seen it.
I wish.
Okay, Brian, next week's episode is called...
Yes! Give it to me!
Catwalk.
Fuck. Dog Man.
Yeah, you got it. If you want to hear more discussion... What do you think Dog Man's up to?
Walking like a dog!
Your predictions are always so great. I'm so glad that 84 episodes ago I decided this was going to be a thing that we did. At no point along the way have we gone like, maybe this is not a thing we need to do, but I just keep doing it. It's Batman's origin, it's Dogman's origin story, actually.
Wow.
He's going on a dog walk.
You know I'm going to have to pull that out for the last Batman episode.
Oh, yeah.
Batman's origin story.
I got to tell you, just do a guessing for all the Superman ones, too.
Yeah.
You're like, what if it's in that? What if it's hidden in a Superman episode?
Maybe.
And you never guessed it. If you don't guess that for that episode, I'll do some sort of hint of like, no, Brian, you know what to do, please, whatever. Like,
okay, I'll try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, but it'll be years and years from now.
Oh God, I'll try to remember for years.
Okay, you won't. If you want to hear more discussion about this episode, check out the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcast, also available on the Podtower YouTube channel. Thank you to Kimmy, Cooney, Phoenix, Viltsu, and of course, Brother Broderick for all our musical themes. That's you. And I'm Brother Broderick, you say. Please subscribe to the Watchtower Database YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. Also, there's a DC Extended Universe video coming up about the
coming
movies.
Up soon.
Make sure you watch that if you're listening to this. And subscribe to the Podtower for all new DCAU podcasts every week. Every single week with Joe. Leave us a like over there on today's episode to help spread us around the interwebs. And please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or whatever the hell you're listening to this on. You may hear your review read on the show.
Definitely will.
New episodes
no
of the yeah, you will. New episodes of the podcast are released every Friday on the Podtower, as well as your favorite podcast feed and watchtowerdatabase.com. And something old west way to say bye. What the fuck? Sayonara. It's me. I'm that guy with the sombrero and the cat dog that we didn't talk about. You're like, was that a dog or a cat? And I went, yes. I couldn't tell you.
That's you. You're waking up on a porch in the Old West and just going, sayonara.
Oh,
and
shit.
Your cat
Is it
dog goes,
1883? There was a dog on the porch, but it might have been a cat, actually. I can't quite remember. It was at least 100 years ago. Okay, bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, listener. Thank you for listening. You're the best.
I'm the best.
James is the best, and then you're also the best.
You've been more better than me.
I just realized I have Ronish 1996 is Australian, and I didn't look. Directly above that is autism and comic books is Australian.
It's the same person, you silly beans.
Oh, God.
I assume you listened to my account, Detective.
Yes. Duval.
It can't be. He'd be over 100 years old.
He was sentenced to 50 years of hard labor. Of course, no one expected him to live out that sentence. No one but me.
The Lazarus Pit.
When he was a young man, though even its powers cannot restore him now. When his sentence was completed, Arcady simply wandered away. The privations he had suffered had left his mind shattered. I had lost track of him until he turned up in that rest home.
You left Duval to his fate a century ago. Why come back for him now?
Did you really think, Detective, that in my 600 years of life I would have sired only one offspring? Even before the Phoenix debacle, I had come to realize that Arcady was too unbalanced and cruel to wisely rule my empire.
But you couldn't forget about him.
What father can ever forget his son? Come now, Detective. I've still a few good years left. We will cross swords another day. But for now, let me take my boy home.